Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy Mike, and this is the DM podcast. And of course, I'm not alone. I got my boy YS. We just finished, I should say this. We just finished watching the All-Star game. We just finished watching the All-Star game. So whatever we're gonna say here is based off some high emotions of what we think about the All-Star game. And also we're gonna talk about the overall NBA season, what we've liked so far, what we maybe disliked. But YS, how you doing today?
Every day above ground, brother. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing this in a hotel. Mans are in a different area than normal, but it's all fun. And All Star Weekend. I normally love All Star Weekend. It's a lot of fun. Normally speaking, I think at the end of the day, I'm just gonna say it now. There hasn't been as good of an All Star since the one in Toronto. Just hasn't been. They're
I
still
couldn't
trying to
agree
compete.
more. I
They're
couldn't
still trying to
agree more.
compete. It's
Yeah, I
the
couldn't agree
dunk
more.
contest, all those stuff. But we'll talk about that. But you tell me. We just finished watching the game. What did you think about the game? Or you can even go into All Star Weekend. But what did you first think about the game?
The game was honestly, I where do I start? Layup line, 3-point competition. You know what I mean? It was just like I know guys want to get injured, but all I'm asking is, you see how y'all playing the Rico Hines? Just play like that in the
Yeah.
All-Star game. That's all. That's it. I'm not saying to play like it's playoffs or regular season. I'm not saying that, but play like it's Rico Hines. That's it. Because out there was guys were shooting from half, guys was layups. It's getting worse. 211 points.
It's a lot of points.
211.
It's a lot of points. Let me even pull up most of the stats because this game was something. Yeah, I know it's the first time ever they scored over 200. So that's something. That is something right there. Um, I'm trying to like one thing I noticed. I feel like LeBron. See, I think LeBron realized that the game was lost, so he stopped playing. But it looks like he was about to play a lot of minutes in the beginning. Shea had an underrated 31. I didn't even like notice that
Don't
he.
shout out Towns with a big 5-0.
Yeah,
But
50 points
do
for
these points really matter?
none
Do
of
they
it.
really matter to you? How do you feel?
None of it matters. I think with the All Star game, like you had said, like it's more about we love what we're watching and everything. And on a quick side note, I get why fans were booing Dame because they wanted Tyrese to get it. But even looking at in comparison to Tyrese or Dame's stats, maybe Tyrese should have won it because Tyrese hit less shots and only like so Dame was 14 and 26, Tyrese was 11 and 15. And then Dame had 39 and Tyrese had 32. So it took Tyrese less shots to get to 30 plus points. Maybe he should have won it. But I get why fans were booing. But also, it's an all star game. This is not like your favorite player has to get it. It's not how it works. Like, it's an all star game. Someone's going to get it. The thing with the all star game, I feel two ways. One, it's an all star game. It's supposed to be fun. Like, why are we I think we keep looking at back in the day like Jordan and them, and we're like, oh, they competed. I think the game was just different then. Mans shot a lot of jumpers. But if you're telling Mans to shoot open, they're not tired threes, they're gonna be 7 of 10. Because they're not gonna be tired. They're just shooting like layup threes for them. So I get why the points are a lot, but I thought in the first quarter, I thought I saw a little bit of defense, especially from the West side. I thought the West side was playing defense, and then the rest of them didn't. I also blame low key, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I blame like people like Jokic. I don't think a lot of people are talking about people like Jokic and Luca because they say like those guys don't care about it, and these guys, you can tell they didn't care so much about it. So to me, if these guys don't care, like, and they're not playing defense or they're taking it as a joke, why are we supposed to take it? Like, why are we thinking that we're gonna get the '90s ball?
The thing, the fans want what they're used to, and what they're used to is competitive games, all-star games, right? I get the fact you're saying, yeah, let's have fun, it's for fun, and everyone get together, but at the same time, though, scrimmage a little bit harder. Joker doesn't even really treat the regular season like he loves the game, right?
He doesn't.
We can argue, does Joker love the game of basketball at the same time, right? we can argue Luca does over Joker, right? I would say, but at the same time, it's fun for them. It's fun for the league. What's going to
Legit,
change? Like
legit.
the thing is, should fans pay to see this? Would you pay to see this?
I would want it to be more. I would want, they took away the Elam ending. I kind of wish they still had that because that was fun. The Elam ending was fun. I didn't think
I admit
I
that
didn't know
was
they were gonna take that away. Like I thought the Elam
yeah
ending was pretty cool.
yeah
Was pretty cool. I know in hockey, and everyone says that the NBA should do the same thing. I kind of agree. I think like in hockey now they do it like based off. Well, this year they did like a Bieber versus Buble versus someone else. I think you do the same thing. I think you have like four captains. Heck, if you want to do like yeah, four captains would be good, and you put like it would have been like Giannis, Tyrese, LeBron, and like Kevin Durant, like the four top vote getters. They have their six guys. They can go three mans or like 4 or 5 on 5. They could do something, right? And we go like 1-on-1 game of 21. That would be more fun.
I like that actually. That's a good idea. That's a
Like
very
I
good.
or like I kind of like what I actually do like what they did if they incorporated the Elam ending as like a okay, first quarter, Mans have to score to 30. Whoever scores 30 gets 300 racks for their charity of choice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
every man gets a thou, but you have to get 30. The next quarter, same 30. Then the third quarter, 25. And then the fourth quarter, then you go to 24. Like I like Elam ending. It was more defense and things like that, right? Like that's some of the things that we can change, but it all comes down like, do I think these guys can compete a little bit harder? Yeah, I do think so. We haven't seen Mans compete hard since legit Russell Westbrook did. He's one of the last Mans to
Yeah.
truly him and Giannis. I think Giannis kind of competes, but something's missing in the All Star game, and I think people every year we say the same thing. Every year, especially most recently, like every year we're just getting more and sick and tired of the game. Like something has to happen. What do you think has to happen?
They need to change up the format. Like I appreciate that the NBA added Curry versus Sabrina, right?
Yeah, that was good. That was actually one of the more fun things to watch.
Right, stuff like that, right? I also appreciate it. Shout out to Adam Silver, shout out Kamish, how they made the
Ish.
teams for the skills, right?
Yeah,
The number one picks, right? The rookie of the years, right? And the Pacers, hometown.
yeah,
Those things creative fun, good for fans, right? I like
yeah.
how they did that. They switched it up a little bit, right? So they need to do some adjustments with the All-Star game. You know what I mean? So the one-on-ones would be honestly, that'd be something different. People would tune in. Maybe three dribble. Who knows?
I
Or that's
think,
too technical, you think? Because I seen your
I,
face like, I don't know. I don't
I think,
know.
I think with that one, it's like every man has such an ego, right? So if they lose, if I'm Steph, do I really want to face LeBron 1-on-1? Then mans are gonna. This is gonna be an argument people are gonna have. Like, oh, clearly Steph is better than LeBron because he beat him 1-on-1. But it's like these mans ain't taking it seriously. Jokic ain't taking it seriously.
It's true.
Maybe Embiid would have taken it seriously, but like these mans aren't taking it seriously. I was like 1-on-1. I'm not too sure, but I just think you said that these mans don't want to get hurt, but when have we seen mans get hurt in the All Star game? You know what I'm saying? But like we're also worried. But everyone talks about the Rico runs, like you said, the Rico runs. We see mans competing.
Facts. Yes.
They
Yes.
compete. How you
Yes.
compete there? You can't compete against like your peers, your actual peers, as all stars, and in front of fans. Like, why
Because
can't
you
you do
can
that?
get same way get injured in the Rico runs, right? Same way get injured in Rico runs.
Right? Mans get injured in regular season games all the time. Like, to me, the avoidance of you know, playing actual, defense. I don't know. Defense doesn't get you injured. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, and like we both said, you don't gotta play like lockdown defense.
No,
You
no.
don't gotta play lockdown defense. You just have to be like, hey, the way they play like we're in our runs and that last game of the night. There's no defense that last game. No one cares about the last game of a run. Mans are just like, you can
Yeah,
go get a layup. Play like it's the second game. Play
yeah,
like it's the second, or
yeah.
like the third, the one of the second last game. Play like that.
Yeah, at
Play a
least.
little bit tighter. Like care
Yeah,
about the switches, care about like mismatches. Like yeah, of course you still want to be. We want to see like the unique things like LeBron versus well at the time LeBron versus a Durant. But like I want to see LeBron versus Johns. I want LeBron to be like I'm gonna guard you. Like I want that. I still want I'm almost okay with they're on the same. No, actually they're not. Like if Steph hits a three, yeah, I'm okay with Dame trying to hit a three and compete. Like I want that type of entertainment. But when
yes.
it becomes like mans aren't really getting rebounds, mans are just kind of slushing to do anything. I don't want to see that. I don't. I do want a little bit like better. I
Because
just want to see better.
what's the point in time? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, no,
Year 2000 All-Star game, Allen Iverson, J Kidd,
right?
KG, Tim Duncan, Shaq, Kobe with the fro. They were double teaming Shaq in the first quarter.
Yeah,
In the first quarter of that game, an All-Star game. I'm like,
yeah.
wow, this is can we go back to this? But it can never get back to that. But can we get to the Rico Hans? Just the
That's
Rico
it.
Hans. That's it. That's it.
That's it. And then also, I think it comes down to a few things, right? Like, people always go back to the league. This is what the league wanted, right? Like nowadays, I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but so much mans are complaining about like the defense, right? Like, oh, now you can't touch mans. So I think they're gonna make some changes to help the defensive player because they're tired. That's I know the one thing that people don't like is when a man has the ball and he swings it like this to get a foul. I
Yo,
think Trey's
that's
very big on that.
horrible. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
like Chris
Why don't
Paul's
we be
big on
doing
that.
that in the Houston days? Like crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
So I think like they want to get rid of all that stuff. So you get rid of it. And then like the defense needs more advantages. And you can see, I think Jaylen Brown said like they don't talk about defensive players anymore. It's all about offensive players. You're only a good player because you play offense. That's why I think me, I love defense. I love both sides of the ball. Certain
Definitely.
players I don't want to talk about anymore because I'm like, there's no way you can tell me this player is better than this player just because this person can score 25. Like, I don't care. I don't care if a man can score 25 a game. All these guys in the league can score 25 a game. That's why they're in the
It,
league.
it's true. You're
Like
100% right.
like
There's skill
Patrick
levels
Beverly was
in the
scoring
league.
20 in high school. Easily. Easily. So I don't want to like see I want more defense. So I think the league's gonna get there. But what I was trying to say is that the league wanted this. When you had Steph at his height of popularity, all the kids are shooting threes. You wanted this. Same thing with the NFL is experiencing the same thing. There's so much offense that like defense is just like losing. You know, we're not getting that great defensive player. We're not getting the lockdown corners anymore. Like we have a couple, but the real
Can't touch
lockdown,
anyone. You can't
you
touch
can't touch
anyone
anyone.
else. It's holding. It's holding, right? Can't
Like we
touch
had
anyone.
Revis. Remember Revis from the Jets? Like that man was locking people down.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had guys who can lock people down. Nowadays, like you don't really hear like the best corner talking smack to a next man. Like you don't hear that. Like you don't see the wide receiver beef with a DB.
Yeah,
Like the way we
yeah.
saw
You don't.
that's my thing. Like I want to see mans like argue like and
Competitive.
guard each
Be
other.
competitive. That
Yeah.
energy. But
Yeah. And even so, like even if you're Dame, right? Everyone's saying that Steph is the best 3-point shooter ever, right? You're Dame, you won the 3-point contest, but they're also talking about Steph and Sabrina and saying Steph is the best, da 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 da. Yo, in the All-Star game, be like, Steph, you have the ball. I'm guarding you full court. Like,
facts.
just
Yes.
just just be
Agreed.
competitive for that. Like, give us
Agreed.
something. Just that's it. That's all. Like, I
Agreed.
think Jordan wanted to make sure that everyone knew that he was the best. I think LeBron was competitive in the All Star games in the beginning. Russell Westbrook was competitive.
Yes.
Shaq, Kobe were obviously competitive. No one's going for. I think Giannis is probably the last guy. I thought maybe Anthony Edwards would be a little bit more competitive, but I don't
Guys
see it.
want to get injured.
How man just still in the back in the day where Duncan. We saw Tracy dunk. We saw like man are still doing whatever moves they wanted to. You can become a little bit more fancy, but man are still guarding. Man are still
Definitely.
guarding people.
Definitely.
With All-Star Weekend, you mentioned it a little bit, but what else would you change, or did you like All-Star Weekend this weekend? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
I didn't watch the celebrity game. I was seeing some of the rookie sophomore, but I don't really know the format. But I was seeing some like part two, and in that part two, they were kind of guarding. It was kind of competitive. I was seeing
I would
the
say
second part.
they played more defense than this stuff. They definitely played
Yeah,
more defense than this.
it was
Way
sort of
more.
competitive. I'm like, okay, this is I like where this is trending. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I like how this is trending, right? And moving past that, Saturday now, the highlight was clearly the 3-point competition on the Sabrina versus Curry. It's clearly the
Yeah.
highlight. The skills, like I said, I like how they set up the skills. The skills is good. The passing with the moving, targets and whatnot, and a team total time and the layup and the float and the three
Yeah.
and the half court. I'm like, okay, it was all right. It was. You need things like that. You need things like just to start up. You need things like that. The 3-point competitive. The only thing I would add to the 3-point is bring back more shooters. That's it. Maybe two, four more. Just four
Like
more
have four
shooters.
more guys. I was thinking the same thing last night too. I'm like, I wouldn't, especially because everyone's talking about it like as the marquee event. Why not just make it longer? Like I'm okay with, like it won't bore me seeing man's like try to shoot as much as they can. Like it wouldn't bore me to
Me
see it.
either.
And that's where it goes back to the one-on-one. I'm okay if they were to go like, you know what, YSU, you're a 49% shooter, and you're going against Steph, but Steph's a 45% shooter. So you're first seed, and Steph is eight. Like it may be like, oh, is that 49% good or bad? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
is it because Steph's volume of shots, whatever? But to me, like, make that one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Like make that one-on-one. Like
I like that.
I
Head to
I
head.
get their yeah, and like, I get their format, but like the one thing I didn't like about the 3-point shot was it was tied. Like four mans were tied.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, we have to go to sudden death. I'm thinking like just go into the next round.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You didn't have to go sudden death,
Exactly.
so you have three guys in the next round. Like that doesn't just go to the next round.
Exactly.
Like why? Why? I don't understand. I'm not sure if it was a time thing. Like I don't understand why they have to do all that, but just do what you have to do. So I like that as well. What do you think about the dunk contest?
Come on. That was a joke. That was a joke. They want clearly someone was paying the refs or whatever to get Jaylen Brown the final round. Like it was a
Yeah.
joke. You kidding me?
Mm.
I'm, I'm watching like, what am I seeing? He was easily the worst dunker out of the four. Easily. Had the
I don't think
worst
he
dunk
cared
out of
as
the four.
much. I don't think he cared.
He didn't care. He was doing in-game dunks. He jumped over a YouTuber, right? That was sitting down,
The
right?
man's 5'4".
Yes, the man's 5'4". And then Mac had to jump over a man that's taller than him by a foot. Shaquille O'Neal by a foot, right? And he got a 50, thank God, because how those judges were moving, I thought they were going to give him like a 40,
Especially
80.
the older man, the older like the Indiana Pacers like legend. Yeah, this man was giving them because McClung had a dunk that honestly is like a top 10 dunk of like NBA all time. The man went up, pretend to drop it, caught
Yes,
it, and then did a come on. Like that dunk was amazing. The
it
man got a
was
46.
elite.
The man got a 46. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. This man
Yo,
hit the dunk.
that that dude should have been removed after that, man. I'm telling you, because how is that dunk gonna get over a man, over a man?
Come on. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't even like he did it himself. He did it over somebody, caught it, then dropped it to catch it again. Nah, to only gives guy 40. Like, oh no, we got no, that dunk was amazing. And like
Yes,
the judges for the dunk contest, I'm thinking like you have Gary Payton, he's a defender. He's done a lot of alley point. You get someone else, like get somebody else.
you can't get the
Then you have
passer to judge the dunk off. You got to get the dunker to judge the dunk off.
come on, man, or somebody and more entertaining than a Gary Payton, to be honest. And then you have like the old man from the Pacers. Then they have Fred Jones from the Pacers, like back in the day.
Oh,
And they're like,
the first dunk contest winner, Tillman or something. I forget his name, but that was the first
yeah,
dunk
yeah, yeah,
contest
yeah. You're
winner
right. In
for the
Indiana,
Pacers.
that was the older man.
So
Yeah, I
I
think
get
his
why
name
they
was
had him there, but come on, dog,
like, yeah,
come.
I get it, right? But like if you're gonna have him, add another judge. Like he was, and then like, they had Fred Jones. And I'm like, okay, Fred Jones didn't win a dunk contest.
I
They're
get
like they're like Pacers legend. I'm like, Pacers.
No. Fred Jones.
Come on,
After
like
Fred Jones won the dunk contest, we forgot about Fred Jones.
come on. Don't
That
say
was it.
Pacers legend. Like the man, like no one knows who he was. Like
No.
you have to be a hoop head to be like, oh, that's Fred Jones. I remember him back in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah. You really
You can't
do.
just say a
You really
legend,
do.
right? The only
He's
man that really
definitely.
deserved it was Dominique. Dominique
Yeah.
was there.
He's
Dominique is Dominique, one of the greatest dunkers of all time.
Dr. J should have been judging, but he just, I guess, was congratulating. He was the man that hand the trophy, right?
Oh yeah, because technically I think it's his award now. They call it the,
Oh,
like
it
the
is.
Dr. J
You're
Slam
right.
Dunk
You're right.
Awards.
You're right. So I
Um,
guess he can't judge. He can't judge anymore. He's
but
out of it.
I think he still can. I'm not sure if there's a rule or anything. That doesn't make sense,
Oh,
right?
man.
But yeah, the dunk contest was like, everyone talks about bringing stars, right? So there was like a report that I saw that basically showed the amount of all stars that were in the dunk contest. So Jaylen Brown was the most recent one. There wasn't in a few time, but when you look at the '90s and kind of like till 2005 ish,
Yeah.
there wasn't really all stars. There wasn't. There's a misconception
That
that
there was
all
all
stars
stars.
were in the
Yeah.
dunk contest because there wasn't. Jason Richardson wasn't an all star,
Not at all.
right? Fred Jones wasn't an all star.
And Harold
Jamal
Miner won it in the 90s. He was not an all-star. Harold
was,
Miner
he
maybe
was
played 4 seasons in the league.
exactly. What was the white guy that dunked? What was his name? Oh, he has a brother too, Barry.
Barry.
Yeah,
Barry.
yeah,
He was decent. He
right.
was
He
decent.
was a good
Played
dunker, but he was
well.
never an all star.
The thing was though, I feel like those days, 90s or 2000s, that had guys in rotation. They had 1 year Hamadou Diablo winning.
That's the difference. That's the difference. So you guys don't want all stars. We just need guys who, like Aaron Gordon, has never been an all star,
Yeah,
right? Zach Levine is now an all star, but
yeah.
when he was dunking, that was Minnesota days,
Spud Webb won it. Spud Webb, was he
right?
never all-star?
Nate Robinson won it, right? So all stars they weren't really there. It's more
They
like you need
really
guys
weren't.
like you said, names. Like you just want more names,
Yeah.
right?
Guys
Like
that
the
you
way they're
can recognize, on like, okay, this guy. No one's really recognizing Toppins, bro. You know what I mean? They're not really. You have to be a hoop head, like, okay, okay. You know what I
and
mean?
you only know him because his last name was Toppin.
That's really it. Still, that's really
Respectfully,
it.
like
Still.
he's still in the league. No one's doubting his talent.
Mac McClung is not even in the league. He's in the G
I
League.
mean, in the league.
He's
He's
in
not
the
even in
G
the league.
League.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So like to me, like and I feel bad. I think he because he wants to make it, but all people know him for is the
Is
dunking,
dunking. You could tell when
right?
they asked him, right? You could tell.
Yeah, yeah,
They
he
said,
gets all right.
hey,
Yeah,
like, hey,
he's
do you
like,
think
"Oh,
you're
are
gonna
you
come
gonna
back
come
for a
next year?"
three-peat? He's like, he's like, I'll think about it.
Yeah, he's like, "I
Never
want to make the
said no.
fucking league." So
Yeah.
the like Adam Silver's calling him like, "Hey, we need you this year. We'll give you like 60. We'll give you 60 grand or 100 grand. Here's 100 grand. Just come." Because they need him. They need
Yeah.
somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's what they don't need like. I shout to Jaylen Brown for joining. Like I appreciate you joining.
Which
You
is
know what I'm
which is
saying?
I respect that still. I can respect that
Like
still.
he didn't. You're right. He didn't do shit. Like he was pretty horrible. But like at least he showed up. But everyone's talking about, oh, we need Zion. We need Ja. No, you don't need Zion or Ja. But you just need guys that everyone can say, oh, I know this guy.
So if you could hypothetically make a four right now, guys that are in rotation for dunk off, who would you put?
Rotation, but like they're not like all stars.
They're not all-star superstar.
The thing is, it's weird. I would bring back Toppin, like the original Toppin, like
I
the
agree.
because he's still a dunker and he's not like that. I would oh, that's a good question. Let me think about this. Let me go down the list of teams. Um who's really a dunker? You know who I kind of want? I'm not sure if he was on it before, but I'm pretty sure he's a dunker. Jaden Ivey, because
Yeah,
he has the size. So I'm thinking like
yeah,
this guy can probably dunk.
yeah.
Um, now see it's funny. Now I'd want Cole Anthony again because he's more popular now. I would
Yeah.
want him more now because I know he can do something. You know who's an underrated dunker? Like OG Anunoby, underrated dunker.
I
If,
disagree with that statement, but hey,
no,
that's
if you
just
ever like see him, he can actually dunk. Like he's just
he
stiff.
can dunk, but he's to me he's not fluid when he's
You know what I'm
dunking.
saying? Because he's just so stiff, so no one sees it. But
Exactly,
like
exactly.
it, he if he wasn't like that, like he can do something. Um, I think like see Jaden Springer is he's moved team, so he's not someone you would want to pick. Um, I don't
What
know.
about
There has to
Anthony
be more
Simons?
guys.
What about Anthony
Who?
Simons? Portland. Yeah,
Yeah, see, that's good too. That's
yeah.
good. He can heck no, Shaden Sharp.
I
Shaden
think he
Sharp came back,
participated recently, but I'll put him, bring him back again. I'd bring him
right?
back
Shaden Sharp,
again.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, like these are the guys like you like it has to be up and comers. That's another thing with the it was back in the up and coming guys. Like McGrady and Carter were not all stars at the time. They were up and coming.
Were they up and coming? Okay,
Yeah,
Team
because
was on Toronto.
he was in
Yes.
Toronto. He
Yeah,
wasn't that
and
guy yet.
he was getting 15, 16 a game that season, and then he went
But
to, was it Magic, right? That's when he
Magic first, yeah.
big time. Big time after, right? Yeah, yeah.
So
You're
like to me, like
right.
it doesn't
Carter was
have to
averaging
be.
18 a game that season too, I believe. I think it was his rookie season, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So you're right. You're out. You're right. You're right. But
Right.
Carter
It
was
doesn't. It doesn't
buzzing.
have to be. Sorry, it doesn't have to be all stars. It just has to be guys who get the job done, who can dunk. Right. We don't need like Zion. It'd be nice to have a Zion. It'd be nice to have those guys. And then
Because
even with the yeah,
everyone's thinking about that 88 showdown with Dominique and Jordan, the two All-Stars. And everyone's kind of
right,
thinking, because that was, let's be honest, that was like top three greatest dunk offs of all time, right?
right,
That
right,
you put that in the VC one with the Steve Francis and the team
right,
man. Everyone remembers those two, period, right?
right,
So you're looking at the showdown.
right.
And you're looking at that kind of dunk off too, because that dunk off with Carter, super ended up being superstar. McGrady, superstar. Francis had his time, right? There was some guys in that dunk off that, right? So
They were doing their thing.
yeah.
See, and I think that's the thing, right? Like
Eventually
once
though, eventually.
eventually, like you want up and coming guys, the ones that we're going to be talking about in the future. It would have been nice to have a Zion his first year, like the way we had Blake his first year, right?
Agreed.
Like now maybe Zion doesn't want to do it, maybe Ja doesn't want to do it, and like they've talked about wanting to do it, but seeing some of these guys dunk, these guys are more like in-game dunkers. There's a lot of guys who actually like have move set, right? Like these guys, like Zach Levine back in the day was like he was less of an in-game dunker and he was just doing things,
Yeah.
just athletic
Yeah.
freak at the time, right? You seen those guys like heck,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
put up like a Bilal Koulibaly, like guys who can dunk the ball and who are up and coming future, like future guys. I would put. I like the first. I wasn't too sure if I liked it, but they made it fun. The skills challenge. I thought they made it fun.
They did. They did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I
Yeah,
like I
they
said,
made it.
I'm gonna say this again. I love the way they picked the squads.
It was a
Creative,
really good way.
creative, creative. They
Some
just need to
people
put a
say
little more thought in All Star. That's all.
right, right, and then like some people were joking that Cade Cunningham was the one guy missing because it goes Victor, Paulo, then it's supposed to be Cade, then Anthony Edwards. But they basically skipped Cade and went the three. But I'm like, let's not diss Cade, man.
He can
Cade's on
ball. He can
Detroit.
ball. He
Yeah,
can
he's on
ball.
Detroit, guys. Like he's on
He
Detroit.
can ball.
He's on Detroit. Like, let's leave the man alone. He's on Detroit. So like leave him
He
alone.
can
He's on
ball.
Detroit. So and then the Sabrina and Steph, that was like really good to see. It
Yeah.
was really good to see. And like
Sabrina
I
has a clip. She has a clip on her now.
does. She does. And I think that's what made it extra good. Like I'm glad because I think we all thought Steph was probably gonna win. But I'm glad that she wasn't like she didn't score 10 points. Like
Me
I'm
too.
glad that she scored 26,
Me too. Me
right?
too.
I'm glad that she came guns a blazing in the beginning.
Me
Like
too.
it was fun. So I appreciate all that. I do want to say Kenny Smith was so weird that whole broadcast. I'm not sure if you heard the stuff that he was saying throughout the whole broadcast. He was like just hella negative, and just like the stuff he was saying, he's like, "Oh, she should have shot from the WNBA line. Why? She chose not to. Oh,
Yeah.
she had a
Yeah.
WNBA ball. Who
Yeah. He
cares?
was saying that. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
He was
good?
saying.
Like you
No,
good?
he was saying. Yeah.
Like
Holy.
what's wrong with this guy? Like you good? Like chill out. It was fun. It was actually really fun. So, but I do think like All Star Weekend can be just overall more fun. But I don't know what would. There's multiple things that can make it more fun, but it could just be more fun. Like you said, it doesn't have to be the same thing every year. Add different things. Like
Yeah.
we're in a day and age, like I talk about it with people all the time. Like people have options now. Like give people more. Like give them different things. It doesn't have to every year be like oh this. I think the East versus West is something I would keep. but you don't have to keep the same way of scoring. Like it can be like Elam endings. It can be like, you're not allowed to shoot 3-point shots. Just all like
I love that. I love that. I
right.
love
Make it different. Just make
no
it
three
different.
pointers. Yeah.
That'll be
Also,
yeah.
when you were taking in the Saturday, how did you feel about that new court, the LED court? How do you feel about that?
I get what they're trying to do. See, it's funny. They keep doing different things about the court. Like, bro, just play ball. Like, I don't care about the court. It's like, but I think they're just trying something new. They're trying to get like, especially the young kids, like, oh, LED, like fascinated about these things. But me, I'm an old guy now, so like, I don't care about this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see them. I just want to see people care about what they're doing. Ultimately, what do you think about this idea? This could be a horrible idea, and I understand. Maybe I'm just a LeBron fan, but I'm just thinking for LeBron's gonna retire in 2 years, most likely. So his last All Star appearance is not gonna be next year. It's gonna be the year after. Like I think how much years do you think LeBron has left? I think two. Like I think after this season, he has legit two. Next year he'll be good, but the following year he's gonna have to decline. Like, but he's gonna decline soon because we can see his game kind of declining now.
I
I don't,
agree with you, but here's the thing though about LeBron. We've said this about LeBron before,
yeah,
right? We
yeah,
said, oh, by the time he gets to this age, 35, 36, you're going to start to see we were saying this when he was around 30,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He's done here 39.
Right? So
He
I,
just
I, I agree with you, but when it actually happens, I'm gonna okay, the time I'm gonna see when it actually happens. That's what I'm gonna say. Like I know he can't play forever. He can't
right,
play. He wants to play
right,
forever.
and
And
he
he's
can't be
close
this
to
good
40.
forever.
He's
Yeah,
close to 40. So LeBron averaging 25, 6 and 6 or 7 and 7, I think he's averaging right now.
yeah.
In 2 years, I'm gonna say in 2 years, what do you think LeBron's gonna average? Let's go with that.
I think.
And how
Oh,
much minutes do you think he's gonna get?
the thing by then the man can't be playing 40 minutes. Like the
How
man
many
has to be playing
minutes?
like 25 minutes maybe.
Okay, okay.
So he'll probably give like a good 13. The thing is, he's such a good passer still. He can still give you 13, like 8 and like maybe 6 rebounds.
In
Then
two
like
years.
yeah, because I just think he's also going to be around a team, and we can potentially mention it later. But there's already rumors that they're going to get a third guy next year because they have the draft picks. They'll have it. They'll have it next year after the season's done. They'll have 3 draft picks to trade. So it looks like maybe they'll get like I don't know. They're talking a lot of Trey. They're seeing a lot of Trey Young, and overall, there's a lot of Trey Young buzz of him just leaving Atlanta. And I agree. Like, not that like I've never been a person who likes tanking, but I also like eh, if you're not winning and like even like little bit winning, I don't really want to mess with you too much. Like, not that I agree with what Chicago's doing, but at least they are winning. So at least they're winning.
Which is wild still.
Like
Which
at
is
least
wild.
they're
That's
winning.
still
They
what
shouldn't
it
do
is.
what they're doing though. They should
Mhm,
stop, but at least they're winning. But
mhm.
yeah, so I think LeBron in like 2 years, like it has to be. Even let's say the league is so easy to score sometimes, like 15 points.
I was gonna
15.
say, me personally, I was gonna say he's gonna get like 16, 17-ish in
That's
2 years.
crazy though. 16, 17 is still a lot.
16, I think it's gonna be like 16, 17, 5 and 5. So I'm gonna leave
Right.
it at that. 16,
Right.
17, 5 and 5, around 27 minutes a game.
He just can't make the like he's not quick enough anymore to control unless he just slows down the game, which he is one of the best. Him and Chris Paul still one of the best at
He
it.
does. He can. He can.
But like it,
He has high IQ, right?
right,
So
if he slows down the game, the man can have 8
yeah.
assist. You know what I'm saying? But if the game is going faster, then he has to be off the ball more and play like. Is LeBron ever gonna come off the bench? Because if LeBron comes off the bench, the man can probably play another freaking 3 years, 4 years. If he one day decides to come off the bench, but he's too great of a player to tell himself like I'm coming off the bench.
Did
He's just not.
Kareem come off the bench?
No, Cream Mike
He
never
played.
did.
He was like 43, right?
Yeah,
42.
yeah.
He never came off the bench with the Lakers,
Oh,
right?
I think because I always check this, like the basketball reference of how much starts that like people have had. Kareem is only like come off the bench like once or twice in his career.
Maybe because of injury, they want to ease him back in or something.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, if he ever comes off the bench, it's off an injury.
He's the
So it's
most
never gonna
winningest
be.
player in basketball history at every level.
I constantly say that if anyone really talks about the greatest of all time,
Yeah,
we don't talk about him enough.
it's
Like at all.
Kareem. Yeah, yeah.
We
We're
don't
talking
talk
about
about him
greatest
enough.
basketball player ever, the GOAT
Yeah,
on every
like
level. It's Kareem.
right, just basketball. Just
He
basketball
won
alone.
3 national college titles. Are you kidding me? 3. They need to put some more
See,
respect
they
on his
didn't
name.
see from the way it looks, the man it looks like he's never come off the bench.
See, so you're seeing him at 42, didn't come off the bench, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because but it doesn't show games started from 76 to 81. It's probably a stat that they never like calculated.
You know
But
that's
from
Kareem in his prime. That's prime Kareem, like with the lamb chops and the perfect
yeah.
foot. He's starting. You know he's starting. You don't
But
need to check
also
that.
with Kareem, they don't have his Milwaukee time.
Don't have his Milwaukee time, huh?
Yeah, they just have his like from 76 on. But
So
basically,
do they
looks like
have
he's
him as
never come off the
Kareem
bench.
or as Lou Alcindor for a little bit, or Kareem
Kareem. I'm gonna see
only?
this is
Okay.
ESPN. Let me go basketball reference. But the reason why I bring up LeBron is because I think on his final year that he's an all-star, because he's gonna be an all-star again on his final year, especially because they'll just add him on in case he never gets voted on, but he'll get voted. But in case he doesn't, you add him on. I think just for the fun of it, he should compete in every all-star event. Compete in the skill competition, compete in the three-point competition, compete. Maybe the dunk off may be a little bit harder for him, but why not just compete in the dunk off as a 42-year-old man? Compete in the dunk off, do all that stuff. And the reason why I say that, like some people may be like it's egotistical of LeBron, but here's the thing, like I didn't really get to see Michael Jordan. I saw him near the end, like really near the end, but a lot of Washington Wizards Michael Jordan. I didn't get to experience the greatness. Like obviously
Yeah.
we didn't get to experience Kareem. Like we got to experience Tom Brady, like the great. We're watching a Patrick Mahomes. I appreciate great players. Like
You
we
have
love
to.
sports,
You have
right?
to.
We love
You have
sports.
to.
So since we love sports, let's appreciate what made us love sports. Some of these players made us love sports, right? I'm okay with that whole weekend being about LeBron and his like the one in 2016 was about Kobe. It was about Kobe. It was Kobe's
100.
last one,
100.
right?
100.
So I'm okay with all that happening. So what's your so Basketball Reference is saying the same thing. The man didn't come off the bench. That's what it looks like.
So I'm going with LeBron's not coming off the bench ever in his career.
Yeah,
Even when
he'll
his
never come off
last
the bench.
year, he's not coming off the bench. Did Kobe come off the bench? Kobe didn't play till he was 40 though.
Kobe in the beginning, he didn't start in the beginning.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
Because
is
I think
true.
It was Eddie Jones
It
and
was Jones. They had Van
yeah,
Exel and Jones doing their thing
right.
up
So they
there.
were like
So
he was the young. Mind you, he was still an all star. I think he yeah he was still an all star. So, but yeah, like so I'm thinking make the whole weekend about him. What do you think?
I agree. I agree. Make the whole weekend about him. I don't want him to dunk off though.
Yeah, that may be bad.
But do the skills because they, yeah, do this having the skills, having the 3 point. I agree with that. Skills, 3 point, the game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that 100%. Yeah,
Right? Just like
yeah.
because for him to me it's more
That would
like
be
let
fun actually. You're right. That would be
right
fun.
let him just
LeBron
have
with 3 point.
fun,
That would be fun. That would
right?
honestly, I want to
Because
see
then
that still.
if LeBron's in it, then
Yeah,
you know what like a bunch of mans are gonna want to join,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
mans will put their hand up to join the skills competition. Like they'll
Yeah.
do what they can. Like imagine if they you know what they should do like
It's
LeBron's
good for the
last.
game. It's good for their brand. You know what I mean?
Imagine if you just basically did like they'll probably change it then. If Adam Silver's ever listened to this podcast, you have to pay me for this idea. You have to pay me for this idea. You go old heads, the ones who are retiring, like LeBron, Durant, Steph. Those are your three guys who are still like the face of the league. You go those three, then you're gonna at the time it'll be like Victor, Cooper, Flag, maybe somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Go young like that.
Cooper, shout out to
Vic,
Coop.
right? Victor, Cooper. By that time, Cooper's in the league. I would maybe I think so. Yeah, that'll be LeBron's last year when Cooper comes. I think. So yeah, Cooper, Victor, maybe somebody else. Maybe Chet is that guy. You go Chet. Then you just pick
Cooper,
whatever.
Chet, and Victor on the same squad.
Right. And then you go LeBron, Steph, Durant. This is just for the skills competition. People are watching. You're
I
saying
think that
basically the
those
future of
those
the
guys are
league,
so long they could just put the ball through the target. They could just reach and put the ball through the target, man. Those guys it's
right?
too long.
Right. Like it's the future of the league versus the old past of the league. Like it's different. I think that's something you can almost
Can you
have
imagine
fun with.
KD is the shorter man in that out of that bunch?
Yes. But KD's tall, man. The man was beside Jokic, and I'm like, this guy's really 7 foot. He's really 7 foot.
He's the Slim Reaper for real. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
When
one
you
thing
just see
I
him play, when you
definitely
see him
miss.
handle the rock, side note, obviously, you see him handle the rock that wide ass cross. Could you imagine getting crossed? The man is
Yeah.
7 foot, his arms are that long, crossing you, and you can't react, and he breaks man's ankle. He buckles guys. He buckles guys.
I think that's like the next. Well, he has multiple steps, but if Victor can like get a better handle, he's just so tall, right?
I
So
don't
he
know
makes
if
it
he could
easier to
get
steal.
KD is special
KD's
when it comes
special.
to the handle. Wemby,
Victor is special defensively.
he's Wemby's special. I'm not gonna Wemby's special.
Yeah,
But
right.
I don't know why they don't. That's another topic, but they need to give him the rock more in San Antonio. That's still
Right.
an, but
Right.
yeah.
Which leads to our next thing. So I think we're done. Any All Star things left that you want to mention?
No, I got all that out of my system. What about you, man?
I'm good too. I didn't know we went. See, clearly, we. I think we made it seem as if we didn't have our gripes about All Star, but we went like almost 40 minutes on All Star. So
Sure,
clearly, we have our issues of All Star.
we
Clearly,
do.
there's an issue
Definitely.
that we're not
Definitely.
a fan with, but we just know how good it can be because there's sometimes like it's good, right? And I think it has potential to be better. But the All Star game can be way better. I think we can both agree. Play a
Yeah,
little defense. You know, the thing is, you can score a bunch of points. Just care a little bit.
that's
Just
it.
care a little bit more. That's all.
Just care more.
So you kind of mentioned we'll kind of go to like this season. We've made it now to this part of the NBA season. I think it's been a pretty good season. Like I don't see a lot of mans like taking days off. I think it's because they're actually playing. Like mans are actually playing this time. Um,
They want to win awards. They want to win the awards. That's why they're not taking days off.
right. I saw Jalen Brown had said that he maybe 65 is too much, maybe 58. And then I saw someone tweet like how much
Yes.
games. Thank you. It's just it's stupidity. Like man should play games. They're like how much games. If you go to all the MVPs in the past, how much games did they played? I'm pretty sure most of them played over 70 games.
Come on. We're
Like
talking about the
I
past. How long are we going back? We're talking about 10 years. We're talking about what?
you can go 30 years. Those mans are
Come
playing
on, those
70.
guys, 30 years, those MVPs play 80 games plus. Stop.
Come
It's
on,
30
man.
years. They play. Come on.
Like let's not do all that. So to me, I like oh my gosh, Anthony Davis
Jordan
has
had
played a
like
lot of games.
6 or 7 seasons. He played 82 games.
All these guys. This is why like I where I get it is that like LeBron has played 20 plus season, Tim Duncan played 20 plus, like Steph is this year, Kevin, where Larry Bird was under 12 years, Magic Johnson under 12 years. Heck, Jordan was basically under like 14 years. Like these mans really didn't play a lot of years in
No.
comparison to the way these mans are playing now. So I get that, but I also like I want to see mans play. Like I don't care what anyone says. I want to see people play. Right. That's I think we both have always agreed that we want to see people play. But yeah,
Always.
like Kawhi has played most of his games. Paul George, like Kawhi's played a lot of games this
And
season.
this is sad that we're happy that guys are playing
Yeah,
games.
no.
This is sad. What do you get paid to
Uh,
do? Get paid to play.
Kawhi has played 48 out
E-
of
Excuse me? Kawhi played 48 games this year?
yeah, out of 53 games. He only missed 5 games.
Only missed 5 games this year.
Yeah, Paul George only missed three.
This is
Um,
very this is very surprising. I'm not even gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah,
I can't even
yeah.
front. This is crazy.
Like, let me look at
If Kawhi really misses only like 10 games this season, I think that's a career high since rookie
since
season.
rookie. Yeah, every season he's missed like darn near 15 to 20 games.
That's
Let's see.
crazy.
I'm gonna see. So it's 56 games the Lakers have played. Anthony Davis has played 52 of them. He's only missed 4 games,
Wow. I
and
just
I
make it
think
seem like he missed
legit
more
hurt.
games. Every time he falls down, it's like he needs help up. You know what I mean? It takes
Yeah,
more to get up.
but he hasn't. So some. So Mans have played this season, so we've seen it. Mans have actually played this season. Congratulations to them. But once again, like we both said, we shouldn't be congratulating Mans for playing. We should. It just doesn't make sense.
Does your
Maybe it's a
work congratulate
65
you
game.
for showing up to work? Does your work congratulate you for that?
Not. It does not.
It's expected,
But
right? It's expected.
now, so they've played 56 games. The math is wrong. It's gonna be wrong, but I think that makes them have like 20, like 7 games left, something like that. So you have like 27 or 28 games left. Anthony Davis just needs to play in what 15 of those games, then he's reached the 35 game mark or the 65 game mark. I always wonder if man's gonna do that. Like, oh, I reached it, so I'm done.
Oh man, please don't. I don't want to think like that. I hope they're not thinking like that either, because
I
that's
hope
just
not. I hope not
you're
either.
taking away from the game. You're also taking away from the fans. Like you're really taking away from the fans.
That's the
And
biggest thing.
without the fans, like you guys are not making any type of dough. So
So, what have you enjoyed from this season? If there's name one thing you enjoyed from this season, what would you say you enjoyed?
what have I enjoyed? Honestly, I enjoyed the race in the West. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really
It's a race.
I'm enjoying that race in the West. I'm enjoying that certain teams you're seeing at the top, Minnesota, OKC at the top.
Hmm.
We would have never thought they would have been the top two seeds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
believed in
I like that
OKC.
race.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah. So I like that race in the West. That's the most entertaining, surprising thing that I look forward to how that's going to finish. I look forward to how the playoff is going to picture is going to be in the
Right,
West and how the first round is going to go in the West. Obviously, the East I'm excited about as well, but the
right.
West more so. So that's what really I'm feeling this season. What about you?
I think I'm almost gonna have to agree. Um, the one thing that I really like is that one we talk about players are playing games, but I also like that. I think it's kind of like last year. Yeah, you have the Boston Celtics have the better record, but I don't think, and you can correct me, every if the Clippers and Denver were playing a 7 game series, I still don't know. I'm just gonna have to watch the game. I don't know who's gonna win. I don't know. The way Milwaukee's playing, I don't really believe in them right now. I think like when New York is on it, New York is on it. You know?
Oh man, I got an unpopular take about New York. Shout out to my pops. My pops is like, he don't like Jalen Brunson. He don't pass. Yeah,
They don't. They don't though. They don't though. They don't pass.
he only
Agreed. They don't
passes to
pass.
Randall. They pass
Yeah,
to
I
each
agree.
other. That's
I
it.
agree. I think the one thing that team is missing is like I think I was telling you a podcast ago. They remind me of like the old Raptors. Like it's just Kawhi and Demar. Yeah, not Kawhi. Kyle and Demar. These remind me of them. They don't really pass. It's a lot of like ISO. That's why like Barrett is
First
averaging darn
seasons,
near
yeah,
four
go.
assists.
Oh, he
Like
barely averaged what?
he's averaging 4 assists. The man never did that before because he's
He's
on
the
the team that
guard.
passes the ball.
He's the point guard, averaging 4 assists.
No, Barrett, RJ Barrett.
Oh, Barrett. That's why
Yeah.
Barrett. That's why Barrett probably was out of NY because the Brunson, and I'm thinking that's why Brunson came from Mavs because like I can't be on the squad. Luca has the ball for 18, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
How am I gonna
I think
score?
this team, I think like Brunson, and I like Brunson, but I do think he touches the ball and holds it a lot. Like a lot. I think there's no ball movement on that team. But do I think they're gonna win games? Yeah, because they're aggressive, they fight, and then once again they have organization. Like it's going to Randall or it's going to Brunson. They're gonna do their thing. Everyone just kind of be ready to catch and shoot. Right?
Yeah.
OG play defense. Mitch Robinson when you're back. That's what
It's
that's what I
true.
really see from
OG be
them.
in the corner, wait for your opportunity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. But I have
It's
to almost agree with you, like that the Western Conference I really like, but I like the fact, like if I have to pick another thing, I like the fact there's just no dominant team. Boston's probably the most dominant team,
yeah.
right? And that's just because they have basically the same guys. They just added a 7 footer in Kristaps Porzingis who can shoot threes for them. So they did a lot of work there, but I'm not sure Boston is the team to beat in the East, but I, the sleeping giant, it will always to me be Miami Heat.
Bang, bang, bang.
They're
100.
just they're just sleep like they just got DeLon Wright to be their backup point guard. Like,
Who?
if you asked me today, which is crazy, if you said Boston versus Miami in a 7 game series, we have
Go on
both
the
said
best.
we've both said that Boston is the better team. They're the better 6, 7 man lineup. But if you told me that I have to pick one, put a gun to my head, I may pick Miami. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. 7 game series. It's going 7 games.
It's going 7 games.
That's all I can say. The Heat, playoff Heat, locked in
Because
Butler, and
because
they're all healthy. Everyone's healthy.
Boston's better. Boston has a better. They're just better. They're just
They
better.
have Rozier as well on the Heat.
Yeah, and he's still
Rozier
getting more
might have a
comfortable.
bone to pick with Boston. Remember?
And he's still getting comfortable. Rozier, he's still getting comfortable,
Yeah,
like very
yeah.
comfortable.
You got the
So it doesn't
rookie
make
over there,
sense.
bring a
Hmm.
lot of energy. JJJ, Triple J.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, you got Hero.
I realize he's a triple J as well. Jaime Jaquez, he's a triple J. He's a junior. So like,
Yeah, yeah, he's Triple
yeah.
J, Triple J. So
So like that team, like if you tell me you're going 3 point for 3 point shot, you can't tell me that Duncan Robinson, who shoots 40%, Tyler who shoots 40%, and then you have Rozier who can, shoot out the dribble, like the man is can do it. And then you still got fucking Jimmy Butler, who is just chilling and going like, when y'all ready, I'm ready to take over.
you have two. I would consider them two elite defenders in Bam and Jimmy because they are
Right.
elite defenders,
Yeah.
right? One on the wing, one in the paint, right?
Yeah.
Remember, Bam had that incredible block on Giannis,
Yeah.
right? Come on, I think they're the most. You're right. They're the dark horse in the East, and I always said that they're the dark horse.
Jimmy shoots 50% shooting, just overall. He's a 50% shooter. That's crazy. He's a 50% shooter. His 3 point shot. So Tyler Hero is a 39%. Duncan Robinson is a 41. Yeah, how many? See, I think this is right now. It looks like Terry Rozier is a 23%, but that's probably not going to be the case. They have people. They have guys. They have a guy. They have a center. I remember him because he faced the Raptors, Orlando Robinson. He like killed the Raptors, but he doesn't. He's not playing getting any more minutes, and like that's crazy. Like that's crazy to me. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, and you still have Caleb Martin who like did his thing in the
Because
playoffs
yeah,
last year.
yeah, yes, yes. Plays with a lot
You
of confidence.
you have Josh Richardson. You have Kevin Love who like I'm not leaving this guy open for a three.
Hell no. And he's got major IQ.
Come on, this team is good, man. We didn't even mention Bam. We didn't even mention Bam. Yeah, this team, to me, they're still the most deadliest team. Like I think the league is lucky that these guys didn't get Dame. Like they're lucky they didn't get Dame. Like,
Milwaukee, they don't seem like they have the chemistry through the player staff and the coaching staff, right?
yeah, yeah, I don't
Doc
know about
Rivers
that
has
team.
a reputation of being such a bullshit coach, in my opinion, in the sense of you have pieces, but you've only won one title in your like over 20-year career, but you've
Yeah,
had teams,
teams,
Boston, Clippers, now the Bucks, to name a few.
Clippers, and then Clippers again.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because he had the Clippers with Chris Paul and Blake. Then you had the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul. Like, what are we talking about? And people like his first 3-1 blown lead was with Orlando Magic. But
Well,
he'll
yeah,
say
he
like,
didn't
"Oh,
have
we,
Orlando
we
before. Was Stan and then him?
yeah,
It was Stan and him. So he had Dwight, right? He had Dwight,
yeah."
and he
No,
had
no, no.
Kirk Cousins on them.
He had before.
Oh, he had McGrady.
He had McGrady and Grant Hill.
He had McGrady and Grant Hill. Grant Hill on Winners on Magic was still deep. He was still balling.
Yeah, but in his mind, I saw he said like, "Oh, we weren't that good of a team yet. We were just growing, whatever, whatever." Fine, I guess so. But like, I don't believe in Milwaukee just by the way that they play. They're not a team that truly should be believed in. But I think like I my prayer all the time for playoffs. I want every playoff series to go 7 games, all of them,
Me
all
too.
of them, all of them, all of them. I think it's special. I think the one thing we're gonna see is and it kind of sucked. So one of my good things that I liked seeing this season, I love the play of Joel Embiid. I thought he was like, I know he had to miss some games, and he ultimately, if he played more games, would have been the MVP. But Joel Embiid did his thing. Like he really did. I thought he was really good. I feel like Tyrese Maxey kind of fell off a little bit. But it's his team now to do his thing. Like, yeah, that just he has to do everything. Kyle Lowry's on that team now as a backup point guard for him. But I do think like that team is destined to be really good, right? And they're gonna go big game hunting this offseason. They're going for somebody.
They need to because Philly, they really don't do much in the playoffs other than second round.
They don't. They don't
So
have to do something. But I'll give a shout out to like I said, and Nick Nurse has done a good job with this team. Sundays I think about Nick Nurse wasn't the problem. Like Nick Nurse is the type of coach, he just can't coach rookie teams. He's like Doc. Doc is a coach that plays with better with guys who are like not known. He keeps getting stars, but he's better without stars.
I agree.
Like
Lower expectations from Doc Rivers to get higher expectations, if that makes
right,
sense.
right. Like what's his name? Thibodeau. He's better when he has a really good point guard. Like a really good point guard, he's good, right? Because he also Thibodeau cares about defense, and then you can play your ISO ball. I don't care, but play defense, right? Julius Randle is not known for his defense. Jalen Brunson is not known for their defense, but they play
Jalen
great defense,
Brunson's Jalen Brunson's only 5'11". He really can't guard anybody out there.
right? But they have the best defense in the league, or like top, like whatever in the league.
It's the team
It's
defense,
something,
the zones, it's the deflections, it's the shout out to
right?
Josh.
Now, what is something right now that you don't like that has happened this NBA season?
Oh, I think
I
we
can go
touched.
first. I can go
Oh,
first. I'll tell you.
oh,
I don't like um I don't like teams like Chicago. Even though I just mentioned that I like at least they're winning, but I don't like a team like Chicago, even though 26-29, I don't like them. I don't really like Atlanta. Like I don't like teams that are like I don't know. Like I'm okay with Houston. You have to do something. You don't have your draft pick, so you have to do something, and I get that. Yeah, not having your draft pick is wild, but Houston, you do your thing. Heck, Brooklyn doesn't have their draft pick. Like you teams and like the way that you've constructed yourselves, I think probably that's what I don't like. How teams have constructed themselves in such a poor way, including the Raptors. Including the Raptors. You don't have control of your first round pick. I hope it conveys and goes to San Antonio. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I don't want this year's because then we don't have next year's. Like if we get this year's draft pick, it has to be a one or two because then I would want Cody Williams or I want like Kohler. I like Kohler from USC. Like I want like a guy who I feel like can add to the team that we have, like a
yeah.
Cody or Alexander Sarr. He's like the projected number 2 or number 1 overall pick. Cody's number 1 or number 2. Like these are the things I would want. I don't want like the 7th pick, and it could end up being like freaking Franz Wagner, but I almost don't want it because like just next year you don't have it, and next year's a way better draft pick, like way better, especially if you're not good. It's just a way better draft. That's what the draft you need to go for. Like I hope we don't get the pick. So I don't like teams that probably made bad draft decisions like years prior, trying to like tank and win at the same time. Like
Yeah,
you messed
yeah.
up everything. Like are you tanking? Are you winning? Da, 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 da. Doesn't make sense. I don't like teams like that. If that makes any sense at all.
I
So
think we kind of touched on what I don't. It's the defense.
yeah,
It's the defense. You know what I mean? It's just you need to give more defenders, for lack of better terms, power to do certain things. You know what I mean?
right.
To be more hands-on, pause, right? That's
Mhm.
the thing that I would adjust, that I would change. You know what I mean? If I don't like, I should say, because it's just taken away from the game, right? It's just
Yeah,
taken away. There was times when it was like defensive battles in the NBA Finals, right? Guys going at it, the Pistons, you know what I mean? Defenders, rugged. I'm not saying every finals has to be rugged, scoring 80, 90 points, but it was good to see guys take pride on the defensive end, having schemes and whatnot. It was good to see that instead of just layup drill, 3-point drill, one-on-one, no help defense, like, oh, you got beat, that's on you. And the team just
right.
looks at the man dunk. You know what I mean? That's why I always go back to NCAA is way more entertaining to watch than NBA because they go after it on defense.
I to even piggyback on that, it's just like you just gotta one thing it goes back to caring a little bit more. Mans just have to care a little bit more. And I think mans just don't really care as much as that's what the one thing I don't know, like do you think teams I want to ask a side question like cause looking at the Houston Rockets, do you think teams give up on young guys too early? I was never a Jalen Green fan, but do you feel like 'cause I think Houston's already given up on him. I think they
They
already gave
definitely
up,
are. They definitely are.
right? And I do you
He
think, and
just
I
come in the league like last year. So I lied, obviously, but like 3 years ago, I want to say.
yeah, he did, and he hasn't done much. Like I think eventually you'll hear it. Charlotte's gonna give up on Lamelo Ball, and I kind of can see why.
Do
Like
not
respectfully,
disrespect LaMelo Ball like
but
that.
it's not him. He's injured a lot.
Do you think he's injured, or you think they just shut him down for the rest of the season?
Now I
For
think they shut him down. I
for
think now
right
they
now.
shut him down. Yeah, I think now they shut him down. Right. So I think it makes us deep. Like you're right, because then I'm thinking I'm devaluing the player, right? Because I don't see them as much. But I know LaMelo Ball's a good player. There's no doubt. The man's a good point guard, things like that. I think Charlotte's just a trash organization right now. I think once
Okay.
they get rid of Miles Bridges, get rid of that guy. I
Well,
don't
what
care
are they
about
doing
them.
over there? Hayward's still over there.
No, here we got traded. He got traded to OKC.
What? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. One.
What?
Yeah, one of the trades was him going to OKC. He's a good for
Talk
OKC.
about
People,
that. Let's talk about that then. Let's just jump into that.
yeah, it was a good trade for
I
them.
missed that.
Because Hayward's gonna come off the bench. He brings OKC a veteran. They traded the Bertans contract, which was amazing to do. They traded Bertans. Trey Mann is now in Charlotte. Like, but OKC's still okay. They need a big man. So OKC needs a big man, which they're gonna go for one in the off season. You know, when I think about it, like if LA really wanted to, and you're LA, first of all, LA is very underrated for drafting. They drafted their past 10 years, they've drafted really good players,
They have, but they
right?
gave up on
Really,
them.
they
They
give up
gave
on
up.
them. So going back to what I said, some of these teams give up. How you got Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Randall, Jordan
Yep.
Clarkson. Like just alone, if you had those guys on your squad now, that squad is probably a 40 plus win squad.
And that's a
LeBron was
young
always
squad.
coming. LeBron was always coming. So if LeBron went on that squad where his second guy was a Brandon Ingram, his like third was potentially a Randall, and then you still had like maybe
Didn't they
Lonzo.
draft D'Lo too? They drafted D'Lo
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
right?
See D'Lo as well. Like that whole time, you could have had a bunch of guys there off the bench who like, you would have had a bunch of scoring. They probably would have to make some trades or whatever, whatever. Couldn't pay everybody. I get that, but you they've drafted well. But some part of thinking like, yo, if you're OKC, you have all these draft picks, second rounders. I'm just speaking out loud. Are you calling LA to be like, hey, for Anthony Davis, I can't trade you. Obviously, I can't trade Shea. I can't trade Chat, and I can't trade Jalen Williams. I can't do those three. Those three I can't. But I'll give you the other Jalen Williams. I'll give you Josh Giddey. I'll give you Wiggins, Aaron Wiggins. I'll give you like, and I'll give you like 4 draft picks. LA, I really will. Give me like for Anthony Davis. He's
Are they
older.
protected? Are they protected draft picks?
Some of them they're not OKC's draft picks. Those random other ones that they have, right? I'm giving you a top pick that Houston owes me a top pick. Like I get all a bunch of second rounders. I'll give you a bunch of like I'll trade like a farm for this guy. Because now imagine next year, Anthony Davis as your center, Shed as your four, Williams as your two. You still got Dort. If maybe you have to trade Dort for contract reasons, maybe you don't have Dort. We have and doesn't matter who you have at extra two, and you have Shea. I'm
The
just
thing
saying,
is,
I'm making a
AD
call.
won't look right in OKC uniform. Not even that. AD for a small market team like that. You think he wants to go back?
It probably doesn't. Probably doesn't. But he made the money though. He made the bread. He
Which is
just
true. Which is true. Like
and
I
you want to
see
win a title
AD going to
because
a big markets team again. Still,
I
me
think
personally.
if he goes anywhere, he's going home to Chicago. He's gonna
Mm.
go to Chicago. But to me, at the end of the day, you just gotta like if LeBron doesn't come back to LA, if he doesn't come back, bro, Lakers call OKC. What do you want for AD?
So
You
you're
guys
saying
need
on
him
the
more than we
rebuild,
do.
if Lakers were to rebuild,
As long as they get picks.
then
As long as they
maybe
get picks.
I still can't see him going to OKC. I can see him leaving, but not to OKC. I
As if
can't
he
see.
gets traded, right? If he gets traded, he nowhere he can't choose. But if he's traded, then he has to realize like I'm going to OKC. I'm arguably the fourth man. I
But
just got
there's
to
gonna be
rebound and play
they're gonna put
defense.
respect on his name. They're gonna be like, "Where would you want to go? We're not gonna just ship
Yeah,
you."
yeah, you're right. That's your
They want to ring with him.
timeout. Timeout. You're correct. You're correct. They won't just trade him. You're correct. Because it'll be so disrespectful. Yeah, they would have to ask him like, hey, they would tell him like, because they told Pascal, hey, Indiana, right? It took Tyrese Halliburton to text Pascal to be like, hey, yo, come. It's nice out here. For Pascal to be like, okay, I accept it. Because
All
Pascal had
good.
all the control,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So once Pascal said, yeah, he's good, they said, okay, we'll make it happen. But you're right. They won't just trade AD. It would borderline come out disrespectful. It would come out disrespectful. You're right. I tried to make a blockbuster, but that wouldn't happen.
You gotta
Uh
go to KC. It's all good, man. It's all good. You want to see them win. You want to see them win.
I want to see with still. I like their squad. Is there any team like I'll give you the East standings like Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York, Philly, Indiana, Miami. Or now this is the play in Miami, Orlando, Chicago, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Toronto. West. I'll say that first. The Eastern Conference. There's normally like a team that like starts winning a bunch of games. Like they go on a streak. Is there any team here that you can think is going on a streak, or any team that I named that you can see going down?
I can see the Heat going on a little streak, right? And this is close to the end of the season. I'm gonna say like end of March. So in a
Right.
month, a little over a month from now, I see the Heat saying, "Okay, we need to gear up for the offs or play in."
Right.
I see the Heat. Any team going down? I'm gonna look in the East. I want
I
to
think the
say
closest one is
Cleveland.
Philly.
You're gonna say Philly
Yeah.
without
Cleveland
maybe
hasn't. Cleveland's been the best team in the league.
they have been, but I want to say Cleveland because I'm like, are they gonna remain being the best team in the league for the next month and a half? I don't think so. That's my
Is
opinion, though. I
as
don't
long
think.
as like I think like Evan Mobley and Garland have taken L because they have to take an L. It's become like the Mitchell and Allen show,
Well, it's working now. It's working
right?
now.
And of course it's working too if you think about it. Like Mitchell worked well with who? Rudy Gobert,
Very
right?
well. Very
Allen
well.
is like I'll say a lesser version of Rudy Gobert,
He is. He is.
right? And they're killing it. Mitchell's honestly been
I
killing.
feel like
So the
Allen is better offensively though than Rudy
yeah,
overall.
right. And Mitchell, like he's been playing so good. If they keep winning games, you gotta start putting him in the MVP conversation.
Do not say this because Mitchell has not even seen the third round of any playoffs.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, you have to start respecting it. Like they started winning a bunch of games. They in their last 10, they're 9-1. I think in their last 20, they're like only lost like two games. Like Cleveland's and the number one
17 and
defense,
3.
dog. They've been so good. And then the thing is, that's why people I've heard some talk about it, but it can't be real. But people are like, okay, Evan Mobley, he hasn't improved. How far can we go with Evan Mobley? But to me, you can't trade him. Donovan Mitchell is leaving. He is going to go. It's not even like them. Everybody knows he wants to be in New York,
Yeah, yeah. But how's that
Brooklyn,
gonna work?
or Knicks. He doesn't care. He
How's that
wants
gonna
to go
work
there.
though?
He wants to go. He does not want to be here.
He's gonna go to Brooklyn. He might as well go to Brooklyn because he'll get the ball in Brooklyn.
Look at the ball in Brooklyn, and then
He'll get
he
the
can
ball.
like play with Mikel, and Mikel can be like his, and then maybe Claxton could stay on the team. Like that team.
You're forgetting about Simmons. What about Simmons? Can he play with Simmons?
Who cares about? Now Simmons has been okay, but like he's been okay, but like I wouldn't, I really wouldn't want that because if he goes to New York, he's not playing on the team with Randall Brunson. They
He
would
can't.
almost have to ask OG to take a pay cut because it's too much money. It's too much money. And then Jalen Brunson's has a contract extension, like either end of like this coming season, like summer, like they can extend his contract, but
Yeah.
Randall makes too much money. So and like Randall, Brunson, and Mitchell, does that really? It sounds okay, but does that really?
It doesn't even sound okay. It sounds like who is it's my turn, your turn, his turn.
Thank you. That's the thing. There's no ball movement, right? And Mitchell, people are saying Mitchell's probably a better point guard. Like he's probably like more of a not an actual point guard, just a guy who handles the ball more.
A better point guard than who, Garland or than Brunson?
But like he's not. But he's not really a point guard, right? He's more just a guy like just give Mitchell the ball and let him do his thing,
Yeah, yeah. He's a
right?
player.
So he's a yeah. So I don't know. Cleveland has a lot of things to answer. If they don't make it past the first round, oh, this is gonna be a very fun offseason for them.
I
Like
think I'm
I
gonna say Cleveland may slide. Miami's gonna rise. I'm not saying Cleveland's gonna slide out, but I don't
yeah,
think the Cavaliers are gonna finish the end of the season with that number 2 spot. I'm going on record saying that right now.
then who's gonna climb up? But then Milwaukee, probably Milwaukee then. Unless New York just goes on another streak, another heater. But I think Randall should be back. OG should be back. Philly's not. Embiid's not coming back until like the last week or so, 2 weeks.
Wow.
Right. So he's not. Boston's staying in that first seat. The thing is, if Miami wanted to be just hilarious,
Hmm.
they could just hover there, right? Like they could just hover there if they wanted to. They really could. And that'd be crazy. So in the Western Conference, the final question, who can? I feel like the West could be set, but the West is Minnesota, OKC, Clippers, Denver, Phoenix, the Pelicans, who nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about the Pelicans,
They
like
don't
at
have a
all.
good third.
Dallas, Sacramento, Lakers, Golden State. Then out of the playoffs, looking in, it's Utah and Houston. Do you see anyone that can get better?
Um, Let me take a look at it myself, actually.
I feel like this is like the eight.
You know what? Who can get better?
Or the 10's a 10, I should say. Sorry.
To 10, and they're all above 500, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, Damn, it's tight in the West when you really
It's
take it in.
very
You know
tight.
what? Better? I want to say, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Kings. I'm gonna go with the Kings. I feel they're gonna go on a little run. I'm gonna go with the Kings because I feel
Out
the
of
Kings are better than the
disrespect.
Pelicans.
Like out of disrespect that none of them made it to the All-Star. Sabonis and things should just be like
Yeah,
you
deserving.
disrespected
They
us.
deserve.
Yeah.
One of them deserved to be there. One still
At
not.
least. At least. So
So I feel the Kings. Who's gonna drop in the West? Me looking at it right now. It's hard to believe the Wolves and the Thunder are gonna be 1 and 2. It's hard to believe that, but
yeah. I think Minnesota's gonna win games because they have like I remember we were talking about in our like season preview. There's certain people who just win games, like they win
yeah,
regular season. Like Gobert wins regular season games, just like Donovan Mitchell. Like I predicted the Cleveland's gonna be number one in the beginning of the season because I was like, they just gonna win games. Donovan Mitchell can win games. Like they can win games. So I think that like I want to say the Pelicans, but they've been kind of winning games too, man.
they
The
have
West
been.
is
But
hard.
the West is hard. I want who's gonna drop this. Like the thing is, there's certain teams that are so tight. If a team goes on a 3-4 game losing streak, they drop,
Yeah.
and that's a week and a half. And it's the standings is different, right? So I really, who I don't believe in, I don't believe in the. I I like Luka. I really don't believe in the Mavs like that. They need to prove something to me in the playoffs for real. I don't believe in the Pelicans. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think the Pelicans like they just everyone knows that the Pelicans are like the deepest team, in the league. They're deep, but you can be as deep as you want to. It doesn't matter. If you're not an organized team, there was already like an article that came out and said the Pelicans are gonna have to choose Zion team or BI team.
First, they gotta get a point guard team, a starting point guard, because CJ ain't it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, to me, we already know whose team it is, but who's putting in more work, who's being more consistent, it's BI.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're right. We all know it's Zion's. It's Zion's team. But BI is the one who's been the most consistent. The fact that they don't have an all-star and no one's really like thinking about it, but they
That's
BI
crazy.
could have been he could have been an all-star. The fact that like Phoenix had two all-stars, but Pelican, Sacramento didn't have none. LA had two all-stars. Like I always think to myself, like, why do they get it? And like, no one else does. But it's almost borderline. I was almost hoping
The Clippers have Quine
too.
Peach.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're like, man, they've been amazing.
They
They've
have
been
been.
so good.
They have
They've
been. They
been
have been.
so good. They've been so good. I think the West could be really fun. I'm hoping one day I agree with you. I hope Minnesota in the playoffs is this good of a team. But I honestly think a lot of these teams remind me of like I think OKC is just gonna be good because they don't know what to do in the playoffs. So they're just gonna be good. Right? They're gonna be
That-
cool. Let's just they're just
Yes, they're playing. Yeah, yeah. They're
they're
happy to be
free.
playing hard. Yeah,
Yeah. Like I'll eat some cake. I don't care. Like if cake is there, I'll eat it. Right?
yeah,
Minnesota kind of wants to eat some cake and like celebrate, but
yeah.
I'm not sure if they really know what it takes.
Anthony Edwards
Right?
is a
Like,
dog. He's a dog. So, and you got that good. Conley's a great leader. He's a great leader,
yeah, very great, very, very
very
good
steady
leaders.
veteran. So, yeah, yeah. I feel like they could. I feel like they could get to the second round. I feel OKC. I don't know about OKC in second. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no, I get it. The thing is like, because if I had to still look at this like standings,
Yeah.
or forget the standings, Denver's the best team.
Period.
Like Denver's the team that I'm still gonna think to myself like that team's gonna make the Western Conference. Then I would go Clippers because I'm trying not to believe in them, but they've been
Hard
so
not,
damn talented.
hard not to right now. Yeah.
You're right, so damn talented. And then honestly, you may call me crazy, but I would still almost believe in the Lakers. Like if you told me a 7 game series,
Wow.
if you say 7 game series with them in Minnesota, who you going with?
That's tough still.
You have to
That's
pick.
tough
Who you have to
still.
pick? You have to pick. Who you picking? Lakers or Minnesota?
I'm picking it's going 7 games. I'm picking maybe Lakers because they got a few guys got rings, they got the
Right.
experience of
The
playoffs.
experience of it all. Lakers and OKC
I'm probably going OKC.
versus Lakers.
I'm probably going OKC, man. I'm probably like they're just out there having fun playing hard. So if they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. So I'm going
Right. That's why I'm going
OKC.
Lakers, right? Because that meant Lakers have no choice. They have no choice but to win. Right? Like the Clippers, I may go Clippers. Denver,
Well,
go Denver.
if it's Clippers and
Phoenix,
Lakers, it's Clippers. Still, I feel it's Clippers.
Phoenix
Healthy.
and Lakers, bro, that's even. That's even.
I do not believe in the Suns. I'm going
At
Lakers. I do
all.
not
At
believe in
all.
the Suns.
So the Lakers, right? So we believe in the Lakers more than the Pelicans.
Yes.
Lakers more than Dallas.
Yes.
Lakers more than Sacramento.
That's tough, you know. I like
I
Sac.
see why you're saying. I see why you're saying it. But like, if Sacramento's not really like scoring, they don't play any defense. But Lakers play defense. That's the difference. Lakers play defense.
I always am gonna give it to the team with the experience in the ring. So I'm
Right.
gonna slightly give it to Lakers against the
That's what I'm
Kings.
saying. So the Lakers, no matter what, are like the third or fourth best team in the West that we can believe in. But eventually, like, if the Lakers are lucky,
I want to say
the Clip
four.
like the Clippers and Denver will meet each other. If the Clippers and Denver meet each other, they're Gucci. The Lakers in the way the standings look, the Lakers would want eighth seed. The way they stand, because they know face Minnesota, right? Or they want like maybe they want the seventh seed, right? Because then you just want to me, you want to avoid the Clippers and Denver. Any way possible you want to avoid them.
Yeah. Any other team, I feel, yeah, they have a good shot in 7 game series still. They
Right.
definitely do.
That's the crazy thing. So like, because as long as they have LeBron and AD, you believe. You believe in them,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You believe in them. So it's gonna be the next half of the season is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. But that's it for the podcast. Is there anything else you want to chat about, talk about before we end the podcast?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good for now. I'm pretty sure the next one I'm gonna have some ideas. You know what I mean? What
Yeah,
about you?
I think I'm good. I think we talked about All Star. We mentioned the future. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. This the last 30 games of the season is always a lot of fun, a lot of jockeying for positions and shit like that. So I'm hoping we get to see a lot of that as well. That's my goal is to see. And we didn't talk any Raptors, but there's not much to talk about. They I'm just hoping that we see the growth in RJ Barrett, the growth in Emmanuel Quickly, and the growth in Scotty Barnes. Shout out to Scotty Barnes for being an all-star, but
Shout out to Scotty Barnes for being an all-star for real. That's a big kid on the court.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah.
big kid.
He's a big guy. He's a big
He's a
guy.
big guy all over. Pause.
Yeah, yeah, he's a big guy. So like,
So
I don't know.
he
But
gets
yeah,
that handle. That's it's a wrap.
for sure, for sure. For the DM podcast, that's the boy YS. It's your boy Mike. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys again. Peace.